would like to welcome Radha Sharma. So I'm putting Radha Sharma ji you into the screen as an pin. Then before just going to that picking your topic. So introduce yourself. Then here I'm making you as an host so that you can run your screen for there. If you face any issue for screen running, so you just let me know so that we can also run the screen here. If you have shared the presentation with us, then we can do it. If it's not, so you have to do it from your side. So thank you so much, everyone. Please have a good round of applause to Radha Sharma to bringing you the positive duty and then the harassment, how it can be done. She has a vast experience in this domain and bringing you that new strategies as well as what she has been lot of organization she has been so far. So how that all experience together here combining with these next 50 minutes. So now the screen is over to you, Sharma, and now start your session.
Just taking a minute. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, team people manager, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak about this topic.
Thank you so much.
Well, I think my screen is visible to everyone now.
No, as of now it is not. Maybe I did not make you as in the host here. So just give me a while and I'm putting you as a host so that may be visible. Now you can now restart sharing your and that the screen.
I have already shared.
No, you start it again because the first there you were not the speaker, that the host, so that's why it may come up.
One second. I'm taking a moment to
yes, please.
share it again.
So not an issue. So just you can take not a moment, just a minute and 2 minutes are okay with us. However, you have been waited for around 15 minutes for your turn to speak on this.
I know I had to adjust those time. Don't worry it.
Thank you so much.
How it is now?
No, still only some message is coming. Double click to enter full screen mode, or rather screen sharing. It has been started. Yeah, now visible. Thank you so much. It is visible.
It's on the full screen?
Yes, it is on the full screen. Everything is visible. Your voice is also audible fully. So now go ahead.
Thank you once again, and I'm starting with my presentation. No doubt it is a very, very sensitive but important topic. If we talk about now in modern days, yes, it is important, but if you go back years, yet it was harassment was still prevalent at that time also, but yet we need to understand that no more harassment and what can be the best efforts of the managers as well as the management to minimize it. So I'm coming on to this now. What is the agenda of today's session? One second. So this is, I think, about my small introduction. I'm Radha Sharma. I think sir had already introduced me, but it's for a moment that you can go through my screen. I'm a council member for Anti-Sexual Harassment Committee. I'm a founder of Women Task Force and Vama Shakti Foundation as well. This is the Section 8 NGO for the women empowerment. So it's continuous of my 15 to 20 years now for the women empowerment. So it's an ongoing process, and I'm looking for the hand extended support to me for taking up the empowerment cases and all. Thank you so much. So in today's workshop, what we are going to learn it, we are going to understand what is the positive duty of the management, how we can overcome the challenges of compliance, which is the POSH Act 2013, or you can say about the sexual harassment at workplace. So for this, for getting up the challenges and to coming out of it, we need to understand what is the sexual harassment is, what are those inappropriate behavior which falls under the category of non-acceptable as per the POSH 2013 Act, and as well as the conduct policy of your organization. So we need to understand now these all are the inappropriate behavior and not acceptable. Then we need to go about the like how we can prevent, or what will be the strategies which highlight that the management can help the organization to have the proactive strategies to come out of the sexual harassment. Then there are the positive duty about the management, about the managers, as well as about the employees. We cannot forget about the employees are the equally responsible for that. And yes, I will be sharing many examples that how the management is taking care about those kind of proactive steps in the organization, and what are the now to ensure that these are the mandatory compliance, right? But can we go beyond those compliance? Yes, because we cannot just 100% depend on the compliance, that we have completed the compliance and our duty is over. So to understand that now beyond compliance, what we can do in the organization and what are the modern trends, we can follow those, if that is within our resources and all. So in my section first, I'm going to make you understand about the different terms about the positive duty. One sec, it has gone up. Positive duty and its implication. So what the term positive duty refers to the organization. It refers that there are the proactive, legal, and the ethical obligation that the organization needs to take up, right, to minimize or to eliminate the sexual harassment from the workplace. So now how it works, I know that everyone understand about that. This is the important. Why it's important? It is the important for the safety of the employee. Employer obligation is to create the positive work culture in the organization to provide safety to all the genders. Now, I'm not talking about here this sexual harassment is towards only the females. It can be for the male also. So we are taking up all the genders together in this. One second. Proactive legal action. One second. Proactive legal obligation. When we talk about proactive, the term says what? The term says that in advance, how the management in advance make the positive work culture which minimize or eliminate sexual harassment from the organization. What do you think it happens when the many employers or the management say that, oh, we do not have any case from past so many years. Why do we require this posh compliance? But think about the other side when we say about all of a sudden, if it comes, a challenge comes or the complainant comes. So complainant who is experiencing this kind of a harassment sometimes may not be, so extrovert or feel safe to come forward and to talk about it. What will happen if she keeps silence, right? It is going to be a challenge for the organization, for the management to come out of it all of a sudden. So for this, we need to make sure that there should be proactive steps in the organization to eliminate the sexual harassment, and it's going to help the management as well as to the business. How it helps that, yes, once the employee trust on you, right, he or she can work for a longer time. You can retain it. You can make the brand image of your company in the organization. So in every aspects of the business, proactive action of the obligation of this project or the sexual harassment is going to help to the management or to the organization. Right now, it is not the question that what we are just implementing. Everyone knows that, yes, apart from the implementation, we need to keep a monitoring. We need to keep on the assessment as well, that how our strategies are working. Whatever the rules we are or the policies we are implementing in the organization, how it's impacting the employees. Are they effective, or is there any kind of a gap? So now if we talk about the POSH Act assessment, we need to work on to the first thing first, right? The POSH policy. The way you have drafted the POSH policy, is that it clear, is that it easy to understand by the employees, or it is on the display to have the easily accessible, right? So we need to understand that. And the most important thing is that how management is working on the POSH policy. Is that is still women centric, or it is a gender neutral centric, right? We need to understand that. So this is the first assessment under POSH Act. It is important to go about it. The second thing is internal committee formation. Many people, I don't know about this, here in the audience will be knowing about this. This internal committee is formed according to the section 4 under the POSH Act 13, that if the employer have 10 or more than 10 employees in the organization, it's a compliance mandate that he needs to constitute the internal committee. But what happens? Again, he says that I do not have any women employee over here. Why should I need to go about it? No. Even when we have any kind of a visitor also who is the female employee, may can impact, have any kind of a sexual harassment as well. So the internal committee need to be formed. Now, how once you have formed the committee, isn't it necessary to monitor its effective working, how the management work onto it, right? So first of thing, we need to understand there should be the external member, right? Many times there are the internal members only in the from the organization, and say that it's no use of keeping the external member, right? Our own employee are there for the committee itself. So this is the very wrong thing. We need to have the external member as well. Now, how the committee is working, is it really educated one, as per the POSH Act, quite experienced, quite mature to have the counseling of the complainant, right? Yes, it requires to understand. Now, what are the updation of the committee, right? If the committee is legally expert, up to date, the notification of the POSH Act 2013, and they are following the natural principle of justice. So all these things are the assessment of factors. We need to understand that the committee is working effectively. And the most above is committee is not biased, right? Because many times, due to many factors, it happens the committee become biased. So at that time, it is not the effectiveness of the committee. So there is of no use. Now, the next is how the committee is conducting the awareness session among the employees, right? And all the employees are covered under that or not, right? It is important to understand that. It comes with the redressal process now, complaint handling. Importance is that the complainant should get the prompt reply, prompt response. If your committee is there, committee is well equipped also, but they're not caring, or they're making excuses of something, that they're busy in some other official work or so. So how it is effectiveness? It won't be. So the assessment says that we need to keep on monitoring about the how mechanical redressal is addressed promptly, right? That is much more essential. And many times, I'm talking about many times because it's a practice in the companies that anonymous complaints, right, are not to be heard. Though law says that it is not mandatory, but is that a question, can it be ignored? Can we say that we do not know about it? Let the complainant go anywhere else. No, we cannot take a risk of doing all these things. Though law says that it is the obligation of the committee to take up the anonymous complaint or not. But being a management, you should understand there is some risk, there is some challenge, there is some complaint. So you cannot ignore it. Better you can take up this case to your disciplinary committee or to your HR department. So any of the reasons you can take up the anonymous complaints to make the smooth working and to make the people understand for any kind of a challenge, management is there to help them out. Right. Workplace culture. Now, once we talk about workplace culture, we always talk about the positive work culture and the strategies we are implementing, but how we can take up that. Now, many of us are working onto the digital mode, remote area, work from home, right? These people are ignored for the sexual harassment. This is that they are not in the office, they're working from home. So why should we consider their complaint? Right? They can be, maybe any other reason for that. They are experiencing this kind of a challenge or an incident. So management duty is to make that understand. Committee needs to work for those employees as well who are in the field, who are working digitally, who are working from home, or who are working part-time for them. So this POSH compliance is for everyone. So now this risk assessment is there, right? Once we have this workplace assessment in the organization, that how the committee is working. So is that the duty of the management only, or it is a duty of whole organization? Yes, on the top leadership, yes, they are the people who are taking up the accountability. It's a leadership commitment, no doubt. But we cannot forget about the managers, senior leaders, senior team leaders, supervisors. Only we are accountable, the team discipline. Once we talk about that, we are accountable for the team discipline. Yes, we need to take up the small initiatives towards the action which minimize or eliminate the sexual harassment from the workplace, right? Okay. Systematic risk identification. Now, when we talk about the assessment, yes, there the risk involvement also. So what are those areas? When we talk about POSH Act, we talk about the committee work, right? And we talk about the management initiative. So we need to understand there are the challenges in the organization. There are so many risks involved. How we can find out, how we can identify it. That again, now we should not forget about that there are the potential people, right, which may lead, their behavior can lead to the sexual harassment, right? So we need to identify those potential employees as well. We need to take out those people for the further kind of a monitoring or for counseling help or so many other things, right? And the high area, which are the risk involvement factors, are isolated place. As I said, that the people who are not coming to office, working in the field, the isolated field where even the female go and to meet a customer over there, it can be anything, right? So now the people who can be the potential at risk behavior, the isolated places, remote working and all, and above all the power dynamic. We cannot forget about the people who are on the highest position, right? Once they are into the highest position, they are into different kind of a asking for the favors, right? Any kind of the challenges they are putting in front of the complainant, right? So they can ask any kind of a favor in that. So power dynamic people and the general, when we talk about gender bias, right? Gender bias many people, they talk about, oh, female, oh, forget about it, this is not her work, or I mean, what she can do it, right? Do not assign her this kind of a work. So these authoritative people have this mindset that need to be looked for it, right? That need to be trained for this kind of the thing, that it should not happen in the workplace. So now we, as a management, need to ensure about the legal and regular compliance, which need mandatory trainings, awareness sessions, and the different campaigns. We need to strengthen the internal committee as well. The strengthening in a way that we are allocating them the different resources, right? That can be technological resource, that can be any kind of a educational one, or any kind of a legal help from the expert also, because they are not all advocates and all, right? So they time to time, they require to have the a backup of some legal experts for enhancing their experience to be a committee member. So these things we need to keep it in mind. Then when we talk about the risk identification in that, right? Evaluating of the existing policies, right? POSH policy. In fact, because as I said in the beginning, that POSH policy need to be drafted accurately according to the law, according to the business, like you are having. So that kind of client area you have. So you need to put out into the POSH policy as well, right? Now, about the employee, we cannot forget the employee. What is their feedback towards their strategies of the sexual harassment in the organization, that these strategies are helping the employee to understand the law, understand the inappropriate behaviors, and different kind of the mechanical redressal process, investigation process, and all. So these are the things. And then the training and the awareness. So people says that no, only employee session one is more than enough in a year. No, it is not that. Beyond compliance, when we talk about beyond compliance, that can we organize certain other training sessions for the employees? Yes, we can do that, which we will definitely discuss in my coming up slides. Right. So obviously, risk assessment is always benefit, right? It is identified the potential risk areas, timely taken up the actions, and ensure about that the organization brand or the reputation is maintained. That should not, because now everybody is going to the social media, just having any kind of an experience, going there and putting it up, right? It's really cost bearing, and obviously it impact the business as well. So we need to take care about that. Culture of accountability. As I said, this is the accountability not for the management only, it is the collective accountability for the managers, how they can take it up the action. When we talk about the accountability as a manager, you are the first person who are going to have the complaint, right? The complainant walks in and talk to you. Sir, I need to talk to you. I need to talk about my experience that I'm getting harassed. So now it is your duty to understand that first, initially, when we listen to the complainant, we go for the active strategies to eliminate it, to give her the justice. Yes, we can do it. So now, apart from management, all HODs are requested to take up the complaint promptly and do a nice counseling to make her trust on you, right? Then legal compliance assurance. And when we talk about the legal compliance assurance, so this compliance have the very so many things to mandate it. Say about constitution of the internal committee, drafting of the POSH policy, awareness about the all employees, and these are all the legal obligation of the management, and finally to submit the annual report that need to be well in time. Otherwise, the non-compliance is going to affect the business of the organization. So, I mean, now we need to understand that compliance assurance is the part of the POSH, not only law mandate, but for the business reputation, it is also important.
So everyone, this time, how do you like this session? So it seems that only one and two people are interacting and they are responding. So everyone required to be respond on so that the motivation of the speaker can be up and they can bring you the more information. So please give a big thank you or otherwise big heart to Radha Sharma. So whatever she has been shared so far, very interactive and very deep understanding about the positive duty, and again where the sexual harassment not especially that are related to the women only, it is about the neutral, how you have to ensure. So further, thank you so much everyone for giving your thumbs up. Continue, Radha Sharma ji.
Yeah, sure. Definitely, we will be taking up the question and answer session in the later part of it so that we can interact. Because interacting at this time may interrupt, the quality of the subject. Anyways, I'm welcome for any. If you want to put up the question right now, also.
No, I'm not talking about the questions. It is about the interaction, how rightly it is going on. So there's some thumb
Okay.
up, some heart, and something.
Feedback.
There should be on emojis on the chat also, so that it could be looking more interactive and the people are interested into that. So one time, one side show is not good. So thank you so much, everyone. Please.
Thank you. Thank you. So now understanding the legal framework. When we talk about the legal framework as per the POSH Act, we need to understand the definition of sexual harassment. When we talk about sexual harassment, people think about the touch is there. Only touch is not the part of sexual harassment. There are many other kind of the behaviors which we can experience, right? That can be non-verbal, that can be different kind of way facial expression, that can be body language, which are in content of the sexual harassment, any kind of the communication which leads to the inappropriate, right? That can be any kind of a comment, any kind of a compliment, which have the part of sexuality in their communication. Nowadays, when we talk about emojis, all of us are using the WhatsApp communication, right? And we are using the promptly using the different emojis. Now, the Honorable Supreme Court says about that if a female unwelcomes any kind of a emoji or that kind of a picture related to that, yes, this is objectionable and that falls under the category of sexual harassment. Right. So understanding in broad any kind of inappropriate behavior where the women says unwelcome, right? It is a sexual harassment, right? And she can lodge a complaint against it. Role of the internal committee. Now, when we talk about the internal committee, its first duty is to make sure that the POSH policy is there in the organization, well drafted and implemented. All the existing employee should have a copy of it, right? And yes, that has to be the clear point. As I said in the beginning, the policy should be in a simple language, easily accessible. When I talk about easily accessible, through the emails, by hand, or putting onto the notice board, or putting onto the uploading to the website also. So we are practicing nowadays that POSH policy is uploaded in the website as well. It's the duty of the internal committees to make sure that all the employees are to be covered under the POSH Act, and they are well trained in the sensitization of inappropriate behavior, right? So that means the law says that every employee needs to get the POSH awareness training. right? This is the duty of internal committee member. Internal committee duty is to promptly taken up the complaint and to look further for the counseling session of the complainant and to discuss about the redressal process, because both the parties, if we talk about the complainant and the person who is involved in the complaint against whom the complainant give a complaint, may not be well versed with the investigation process. So before proceeding it, that this is the process, the internal committee need to have a session separately from both the parties and to make them understand why it is important and how they are expecting that there should be the cooperation, no retaliation, and to make the trust building among both the parties. It is important. And we talk about the duty, then we cannot forget about how a committee is going to protect, right, the complainant. Protect that in the sense is not only the physically, mentally as well. When we talk about physically, that maybe immediately we see if her complaint is a severe complaint and it can affect her physical threat from the respondent, we can make her sure that she should be protected safe. We write under the POSH Act some kind of a interim relief if she is eligible according to her severity of the complaint. We give her the interim relief. Now, this interim relief can be the work from home, paid leaves, or any kind of a compensation, or any kind of a psychiatric help, or anything based on, as I said, the severity of that. So this is the internal committee, mainly day to day they work on to it, and once at the end of the year it comes to submit the annual report, that how, if unfortunately there is a complaint, how the complaint has resolved, and everything is now working smooth in the organization. So now, as I said about the confidentiality, it is important. When we talk about the confidentiality, we talk about the complainant name. No, it is not only the complainant name, right? It is the confidentiality based on what the complaint is, what are the allegations she put onto the other party, right? Everything needs the confidentiality about the documentation throughout the investigation. We take it up, and moreover the things should not go out into the outside of the organization. So we practice, as an internal committee member, we suggest to the management that this kind of training should be conducted among the employees throughout the year, right? It's not only the complaint has come, then we talk about the confidentiality. It should be ongoing process to talk about these kind of the things, about the confidentiality, protection of the victim, protection of the committee member, protection of the witnesses, protection about all the documentation we prepare throughout the system, investigation system, right? And non-retaliation, it is important, because if somebody will not come forward to help the victim, it will be difficult for the for the committee member as well, that how they will be taking up the complaint forward, right? Then for punishment for non-violation, for violation and non-compliance. When we talk about violation of the Compliance POSH Act by the management, that management hasn't taken up the POSH complaint seriously. Either there is an absence of POSH policy, or absence of committee members, or the committee is not appropriately trained, there is the absence of the training, or any kind of the complaint which is not taken seriously. It's not well, taken up. It can be biased. The committee member can be biased. So this may lead to the non-compliance, and obviously management need to pay a lot for that. And once it is done, it approximately 50,000 is a punishment. On the reputation can go to the lakhs. But what about the business? We cannot forget about beyond the compliance. again, once the company is not coming up with the compliant, post compliant company, so the company need to pay on the social media about the business, right? There will be loss of business loss, because nowadays even our clients do not work with us until unless we are not following the posh compliance, right? And yes, we need to take up the investigation in a manner where both the parties are comfortable, they are easily available, and they are understood about the process we are going to take up. The process can be informal, the process can be the formal method of the investigation based on the severity of the complaint, right? We expect that the committee members need to be trained in the redressal process, where they understand the questions from the all parties, right from the complainant, respondent, and both the parties' witnesses, how to be asked. Are they well planned, structured questions? Are the part of the investigation plan itself or not? And we expect them not to start the questions with the close ended. Let's start up with the open ended small questions where both parties are familiar, make themselves comfortable, and reply you as much as possible. So let's start with the communication with them in a manner where they feel comfortable, they trust on you, they are comfortable to reply your questions. So I have done with this slide. So shall I move forward?
Yes, please.
Addressing sexual harassment at workplace. It is important. As I said many times, we keep on pressuring the employees. Oh, don't speak. There will be job issues, right? There will be so much of insecurity, or what people will talk about it. So there are a lot of social stigma in that. We time to time train our employees in this kind of area where they are comfortable and they talk about the sexual harassment they are experiencing. So how it is that? One second. Sorry. Employer's responsibility. When we talk about employer's responsibility, yes, we are talking about the very first thing is that creating a work culture, a positive work culture where every employee can feel that this is the way I can approach even to the management or to my senior or to the internal committee member, where I feel to talk about my hurt, or talk about my emotions I'm going through, and it is to be listened, and it is by them to taken into the proper action. So now the compliance has given the timeline. As I said, that the prompt action is important, no doubt, but law has given us the timeline for each and every action in our investigation process, right, where we need to take care about that. Though for the informal method, we take up at least maximum 1 week time to resolve it, but when we talk about the formal investigation, the full length investigation process, that takes 90 days time, right? Though the law has given us the 90 days time, where the timeline start from that the complainant need to lodge a complaint within the 3 months. Is that can be extended? Yes, it can be extended by the internal committee members if they find it is important to take up the complaint. Maybe the complaint is so severe, cannot be ignored, so we take after the 3 months as well. So within 3 working days we start working onto it, and within 7 days we prepare the allegations and give it to the respondent, and respondent reply us back within 10 working days, right? And the whole process we about the examination, cross-examination, and re-examination, the way it goes, the investigation, right, the documentation and the assessment and everything, we get the 90 days time. Right, in 90 days, we need to complete it, though we can complete it within a week, within 10 days, based again on the severity and your plan line, right? That is important. And legal consequences for non-compliance. Yes, I have already discussed about that. There are a lot of penalty, and management need to have the business loss in the market, and there will be no trust. They cannot retain the employee as well. So these are the factors that is impacting of the non-compliance about the POSH Act. Okay, when we talk about the policy framework, it is important that we need to understand our company's culture and craft our policy according to that. That means there should be the alignment of POSH mandate law, the principal features, as well as the business also. Like about you are into the manufacturing unit, there is a different kind of a POSH policy. IT industry has a different one, and the BPOs have a different one POSH policy. So these POSH policy are to be drafted by the legal expert, which are crafted in a manner which align with the vision of the organization. And yes, ongoing training. When we talk about the ongoing training, this is not only the awareness. We talk about so many trainings here. So let's talk about how to handle the emotion, because POSH behavior that affects the organization which is having the inappropriate behavior. People cannot control their emotions, right? They fall in love, or they have that kind of attitude of flattering. So many things are the part of the behavior which is inappropriate, considered the sexual harassment. So can our management organize those kind of the training, right? Say about how to say no, what is consent, how the consent is important. So all these level of the trainings will help the employee to understand the behavior which is not to be tolerated in the organization. Okay, how these trainings are aware and the programs are more effective in the organization. Obviously, hammering is important when we have in the school exams, and also we keep on giving the quarterly exams or so, and then half yearly and then yearly. So the aim behind that we should keep on revising it, the subject, the repetition of the subject. So why the law says that every week, every year it is important, or twice a year it is important to go through this compliance training, POSH awareness to sensitize. और everyone knows about that कि झूठ बोलना पाप है, फिर भी हम जाते हैं मंदिर सुनते हैं all these things. Why? Because we need continuous hammering in our mind that yes, it is important and it needs to be taken care in the future long run. So it helps that continuous training has to be there, and the trainings definitely empower your knowledge. Why we read books, why we listen to the motivators, why we have the mentors. So because these enhance everybody's knowledge. So now implementation of the training is done. What about evaluation? Evaluation is equally important. If the training programs are organized, what are the contents? Are the contents are helpful? Are the contents are according to POSH law, right? Or how the effectiveness of the training is coming up. So that is again important, that we need to evaluate the training time to time also to see its effectiveness. Again, otherwise there will be the repetition of this behavior, and that create a challenge. Okay. Now, as I said in the beginning also, that not only the management, everyone is accountable. But when we talk about the management, yes, the leadership role comes. The leadership role says about that now you need to be table to support the organization towards the positive work culture, right? Elimination of sexual harassment from the organization. So they need to create a positive work culture. So what are those strategies? What the leader, I mean, leader is in a commitment, right? Commitment towards this positive duty. How it will be? By taking up the different initiative. Otherwise, if you go for the law only, our duty is over when there is a one program of awareness is completed. My duty is over. No, but the management needs to go out of it and to adopt so many preventive and creative strategy. When we talk about cultural transformation, right, it is important what we can include in that. Can we have some storytelling session for our employees? But every time listening a trainers, the same content on the PPT make the persons, okay, they are physically present, mentally they are not there. Adaptation is not there, transformation is not there. So can we adopt different strategies of the cultural transformation, of storytelling, awareness campaigns, special day celebration like DNI, BOJ, and the other legal days? So by doing this, we implement that there are the new techniques and the new ways we can adopt in the organization, right? And anonymous feedback, it is important that once we go for the anonymous feedback, where the employees are more comfortable to talk about the harassment, where they feel they are the safe, there is a no name for them, right? So obviously it helps them. And gamified training, yes, we can have the different nukkad natak, some kind of other special programs organized for the employees, right? And yes, employee involvement strategies. Until and unless employee do not come forward, they do not take up initiative, so that won't come. So make them sure that their involvement should be high also. They should be more supportive to the management to fulfill those kind of strategies the management is taking initiative. Let's talk about vision board. We always have the practice of vision board, writing our goals. Can we write about the any kind of a board we can create with the name, and we put onto the cafeteria or the place where we put up our thoughts about positive thoughts about anti-sexual harassment or their suggestions, which can be rewarded to the employees, right? So their involvement has to be there. They should come forward to take it up. And yes, the strategies which are the ongoing strategies are, again, we can create champions, we can create posh leaders where they are trained into different training about how to take up the behavior, how to take up the counseling of the employees. So that is ongoing process about different strategies, right? Continuous improvement mechanism. Obviously, when we put out into the regular mode of doing it, so can we sit with our internal committee, external member, and make a roadmap of the 1 year strategies towards gaining this goal of elimination of sexual harassment, and looking for the like how the committee and the employees in the same manner, in the same platform, working together or collaborating about it. Future trends. Yes, right now we were talking about certain generic practices and all, but once we talk about future trends, right, many organizations are practicing different perspective of the sexual harassment in elimination, or sexual harassment cases to be heard, right? These are certain AI tools we are adopting. Now, once we talk about the AI tools, we are practicing the behavioral analytical tool, right, which focus on the potential behavior of the employee, which can be challenging, which can be easily have a red flag, and move towards immediately whenever we have this kind of a behavior in the department or a particular employee that gives the red flag to right from the management to HR to the internal committee or to the disciplinary committee, that this complaint is going to raise up. So immediately we can have an action also. So this way we can have one behavioral technical tool to be adopted. And the second one is the predictive one. When we talk about the prediction, that is based on the previous data of the organization. The organization has got the challenge or have that kind of the complaint that are easily and promptly analyzed and to be noted down and to be heard immediately. So based on these are all AI tools, and they are on the learning machine tools, we can say, and can work onto the AI models, right? And many companies, if we talk about Google, if we talk about Uber, Microsoft, and the other big company, Johnson and Johnson's, all these are using AI tools to have two things. First is having the different mechanical redressal complaint process to be heard, or lodging a different complaint process through the AI tools. And the second is the prompt indication of that these things are going to happen and we need to come out of it. So the AI tools are going to help a lot. So now the last is when we talk about the key action on the employers to ensure the employee, yes, the policy, we cannot forget about it, that need to be draftly well articulated and well easily accessible. And the second is employee feedback is important. That's what we are encouraging employee to come with the anonymous feedback. And the transparent communication. When we talk about that transparent communication, can it be open door policy? Or we need to think about twice before I go and to approach to the concerned authority that whether I will be heard or not. अरे उसके साथ तो ऐसा हुआ था, मेरे को भी नहीं सुनेंगे, मैं तो कहीं स्टैंड ही नहीं करती. If this comes, that it will again a hurdle in the a challenge in the organization. So the importance of transparent and immediate communication can be practiced to different strategies. I mean, it can be in between the meeting or on the special days, events, or any kind of a lunchtime. So even the management can practice to have in the cafeteria, to the canteen if it is having among the employees. And within, 5 minutes time, he can address to the employees any kind of communications relate to that. So that personal touch, right, is always help the open communication and to talk about it. So that's going to help a organization in the long run. Enhanced employee autonomy, yes, it is there. When we talk about lot of problems in the organization, we talk about that there are so many boundaries, the people need to be they are not listened, they have a lot of stress and all these things. So how they can come out of it? So these giving them the job satisfaction, giving them decision power, that helps the employees to come out and to help the organization or to management, because they are reduced with the stress and they are happily to come forward, right? And yes, we practice the diverse inclusion in the organization, that always help to the management. Thank you. So let's come on to the question answer session. I tried to do the justice with time, I think. So I was a bit fast also.
Thank you so much, Radha Sharma ji, bringing your topic to the IWRC that today, and especially to highlight the most important topic and which is required to be implemented by every organization. And apart from that, the positive duty, however it is there, but rightly how the organization can implement within the organization. You have been rightly described it, so I think the participants have been taken the right notes from this. And however, as per our protocol, so everyone please come to the screen where we are going. After that, we are going for the question and answer session just for 2 minutes. After that, the 3:52, I'm going to go for the next session. That is going to be a very interactive session with the Bala Sahib Sonewani, basically about how the effective investigation we are moving up into the organ we can have into the organization. So everyone please come to the screen, and so that I can capture here the picture of everyone as same as our protocol. You can go the break. So not for everyone, you can go if anyone want to do the break, so you can go the break and then after come back. However, we are slightly around 20 minutes behind the scheduled time. So you can that shut down your camera and mute yourself, go to the break, even though I also have been taken 2 breaks. Similarly, I'm visible here, even though Dr. Vivek Trivedi also have been taken the same. So now everyone on the screen. Let me now, I can't put, okay. So here is the screen view. Okay, so I can see everyone here. Not everyone out of 28. I can see only the 13, 15 members. So everyone, please come to the screens quickly. We have only 1 minute. I have to click 2 shots and then question and answer. Then moving to the next session. That is a very important session is going on. Around 40 years of experience is going to bring you the right strategies. There are many more people who have to come to the screen quickly. Satyaprakash, your camera. Okay. Only 2 people I required in this screen, and then we are going to click the first picture. 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, done. First session, first shot is here. I have been done. So if there are the another people come to the screen, then we are clicking it again. Just wait for 30 seconds only. Okay, again. Please, 4 more members should be in the screen. Yes. Raghavendra, yes, okay, one more, please. 1, 2, 3. Okay, done, everyone. Now the screen is to Radha Sharma ji for picking some questions. There are some questions in the chat, so you can also pick them. So now within 2 and 3 minutes, we are binding up this session and then moving to the next session. Is there any question by anyone? So you can ask directly into the that you can unmute
Yeah, I
yourself.
do have one question. So
Yeah.
first of all, thank you very much for just a wonderful, interactive session. Uh, just would like to ask you that as far as this pause cases has been concerned, it has been observed in manufacturing industry specifically. The female employees are not comfortable to come forward and complain. Okay, now it is very much very challenging because the male and female are working together in manufacturing industry and there are different kind of the activities are being performed. But now being an HR, I would like to ask you what are your suggestions that how we can encourage to the female employees to come forward and register their complaint to the post committee because they are always fear about their name, their fame and their image. They don't want to spoil their image because I have seen that the females are very much uncomfortable while coming forward. So would like to just listen from you what should I do or we do in terms of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for putting up such a important questions. Yeah, retaliation. There are so many factors not coming forward. It's not only in the manufacturing; it's everywhere. When we talk about, so that means there is somewhere trust is lacking, right? So that trust need to be within the time. It may not be overnight. So your small steps towards these kind of strategies we talk about it, addressing the female, the importance of saying no first of all, or importance of making the complaint well in time is going to help them out mentally and physically, both way. Emotionally they will be out of stress, they will be able to perform well. right, they will be able to give the attendance, right? Otherwise they may have the insecure about future, about the job security. So that is the major factor affects not to come forward. So it is the duty of the HR persons to make sure there is no impact on their services, even not to the complainant, to the respondent as well, because otherwise respondent do not come for the investigation, right? So important thing is that your team building activities or the different strategies based on to make them understand they are safe, they are heard, and their complaint matters, and this is not going to affect their service any kind of issue, not with the performance, not with the any kind of a job security or the termination, because this is the thing. And other people will not know about it. Confidentiality need to be maintained. So your duty is to understand that how she should be talked, where should be the office, how she is comfortable. So preferably she should be able to speak to the person she feel likes to. She can open up, maybe the male or a female HR, doesn't matter, where she feel comfortable. So this is ongoing process to make them sure. That's what I said. Compliance is not to sensitize once in a year. It is an ongoing process within your practices, right?
Thank you very much. Really, that is a really practical guidance. Absolutely, these are going to work, and I really appreciate that you suggested me the right way. If I do have one more question. If the people
Yes,
management
please.
allowed me,
Yes, yes, of course, not an issue.
just would like to understand one thing is how we can monitor and check the effectiveness of post policy in terms of creating a healthy work environment.
Okay. Posh policy, as I said, that need to be aligned with your vision of the organization, your business, your client, and according to the type of employees are working for you, right? But the basic, you need to follow the natural principles of the Posh Act, also the kind of the behavior, right? But I'm not focused onto the punishment, right? If you talk me personally, I am not focused onto the punishment. That's not going to solve the process, right? We need to see that effectiveness. You are talking about the effectiveness that start from the very first day you appoint a person, right? You make sure the person will sit in front of you, highlight the major points of the policy to understand, make it read out yourself, or he or she can read it out, understand it, right? Your company's HR, your internal committee members need to make sure that every individual behavior relates to the non uh, uh, sexual harassment behavior, right? That needs to be tracked on the regular basis, maybe through a meeting, maybe through the events of the company, right? Maybe what happens sometimes, there are the picnics, and every weekend we are having the cocktail parties also. We are going outdoor for the team building also. There you highlight in the beginning, right? You sure make sure that this policy need to be designed before it happens, like any event, right? You are making outdoor event, so your policy had to be crafted that this behavior is not tolerable when we are even outside the organization for fun games or for any fun event, right? This is not tolerable. So this way we can have so many policies lying with our posh policy, right? Or you can say, as I said on the vision board, right? You can stick those words, small lines, 2 lines capture, and see that if any behavior, as I said, the people are using behavioral analytical tools also, right? Promptly it gives a flag if the kind of a behavior flags this is inappropriate. You immediately pick up that employee. This is an employee, need to be asked, need to be well trained again, and need to be conveyed about the particular policy or the rules about it. So this way we take it ongoing, and creating a champion or the leaders or bystander in the company, right, that have a continuous monitoring. Say about companies having 100 employees, so you can appoint 5 people who can regulate or who can be champion of the bystander, and 10 people will come under the particular leader, right, will be continuous monitoring. So this will be an ongoing process of seeing the effectiveness of your POSH policy, the behavior under the POSH policy, which says that this is inappropriate, not tolerable.
Thank you so
So there
much,
are
Radha
lot of
Sharma ji,
practices
bringing your
are very creative. I can give in written to Ganeshi for that, and he can circulate. These are the area we can work onto it for the better approach of taking up the prevention.
rightly. So thank you so much, Radha, for giving your time, and especially we are
Thank you.
now 20 minutes behind, so we have to catch up with the schedule. And however, it is likely going 20 minutes in every schedule, there will be, we would be behind. So now I'm putting here